So we turn to global markets, which include the JSE, have begun trading amid tense market movements ahead of U.S. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell's speech later today. Powell is expected to shed some light on the U.S. economy amid a surge in COVID-19 cases and the impact this will have on global stocks. Joining us now to talk about how local and international markets are looking this morning is Carmen Mpelwane, who is the equity analyst at Absa Asset Management. A very good morning to you, Carmen. Thank you for your time. It's been a tough week for the JSE. The burst ended 0.5 percentage point lower yesterday. How has it opened today? And what role is the speech by U.S. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell playing locally and on the international front?
Good morning, thanks. So the market is open marginally up about 11 bips this morning, which obviously is positive. The rand has strengthened into this morning, and the sentiment will be cautious going into what's going to come out from the Fed later today. So it probably will trail or track sideways for most of the day until we get some more information later.
Massmart released its interim results this morning. They've been announcing the sale of Cambridge Food and Rhino Cash and Carry chains, and they also want to buy OneCart. How are their results looking?
Yeah, so they remain loss-making. However, it is less of a loss than in the previous period. So the interims have shown that they were able to improve revenue by 4.4% for the group. That was largely driven by improvement in builders as well as macro, whereas game continues to be the negative pull on earnings. However, another positive for the group was the improvement in their gross profit margin. So it seems to be that they are tracking in terms of their strategy and moving forward and cleaning up their portfolio. Seems to be going the way it's supposed to be going, although very slowly.
Mm-hmm. And Steinhoff has released their trading update for the 9 months, reporting an increase in revenue of 15%. How have they performed locally and internationally?
Yeah, so they've opened quite strong this morning, up 4.3% at last check. This is off the back of a significant rally about 2 weeks ago when they made the announcement that they were going to increase the offering to shareholders. A lot of the trading update was centered around the fact that they are hoping to get a conclusion on that, most likely in the first week of September, both on the international side as well as the local side. And then also another positive for them was the fact that they managed to extend the maturity of their debt, which gives them some breathing room as well.
Grindrod, on the other hand, has released its 6 months financial results, which show its core businesses in port and terminals, logistics and banking having improved. What are some of the highlights there?
Yeah, so you're seeing a lot of the impact of COVID recovery or post-COVID, well, not post-COVID, but the severe lockdown in 2020. You're seeing the impact of that coming through. They've gone from loss-making on their core business to profit-making in this period, albeit very small. And then secondly, the port, terminals and logistics were significantly supported by the commodity demand drive over the last 12 months. So we're seeing that coming through in the results in terms of that. They, however, have said in caution that they are struggling in terms of offloading the private equity portfolio assets, although they have done a few deals, and that has come through as well for the group in this interims.
And very lastly, before we let you go, the South African government says the cannabis industry is valued at 28 billion rand and has the potential to create 25,000 new jobs. Interesting numbers there. Tell us more.
Yeah, so off the back of the legalization of personal use of cannabis and cannabis products in 2018, there's been a significant drive to get legislation on the side of extending this industry. And using an example would be the US, where we see on a federal level, there are still concerns in terms of legislation and the decriminalization of cannabis. However, there are about 18 states at last count that actually have approved the industry and the legalization thereof. And so we are using that as a base to determine what the impact would be locally, to attempt to use these both for medicinal uses, as well as for recreational use. I think we still have a ways to go in terms of getting this approved, but the first step was the decriminalization of personal use in 2018.
Very well. Thank you so much for your time and that update there. Equity analyst at Absa Asset Management, Carmen Mpelwane, giving us some insight on the latest on the ground.